Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the project house. This is not an update on the project house. This is pretty much a how-to, well, sort of how-to, how I did it. There's going to be two different videos. One's going to be for the apron sink or farmhouse sink or however else you want to call this. I found on YouTube there wasn't a lot of videos concerning the installation with my situation. So especially with the dishwasher, that's going to be a separate video. I'll link that right there. But this one didn't have, a lot of it was just like retro. So cutting in cabinets that were already there. This is a brand new cabinet. This was ordered, this came at this height. So this whole cabinet was at this height. And then I had another panel that came with it to make the fillers. So I'm going to show you a little bit on how to install this, what I went through, and let's get started. So the first thing you'll notice, once I take you off this is the undermount of it, and you notice that it's sitting on a cradle. Well, if anyone knows, an apron sink is not light. Oh, and just, if you hear me rolling around, I'm rolling around on my knee pad skates. So if you hear that, sorry. It's just, it's easier to do this video at this level than at full height. And then, anyways, so these typically are around 100 pounds. This one's about 110. She got this at Home Depot, I believe, so it's pretty much off the shelf. But I've seen on some of them that they upwards around a 300 pound mark. So you're gonna want something strong as a base. These 2x4 cradles go to the floor. They go through the cabinet. There's little cutouts on each leg, and they go through to the floor. So that way you have a nice solid base to hold this baby. This one's not the 300 pounder, but it's still a good weight. Like for one person to get this in, it's a little struggle. You just gotta, that's the biggest thing. The next thing would be to make sure that your sink, and this one's not, oh, it's sitting up a little bit, that your sink is 1/8 of an inch of your countertop. So these are undermount sinks, and if you're going to put granite or quartz or whatever you're going to put in, you're going to want it 1/8 of an inch for silicone. You don't want it sitting on there, because then you got stone on stone or porcelain on stone, and eventually it's going to wear, it's going to crack, it's going to something. This way, it gives you a little bit of a cushion. It's an 1/8 of an inch cushion with silicone. So number one, it's waterproof. Number two, it's gonna be, if something moves, it's not gonna crack anything. It's not gonna crack anything. So that's your first priority, is to make this cradle strong. Don't skimp out. 2x4s, make it nice and up. Yeah, it's screwed. Mine's screwed to massive. Like it's 2x4s built, and then your legs going down. It's all screwed. It's all nailed, and it's screwed to the cabinets on both cabinets, so that way it doesn't kick, it doesn't move. Plus, it's through the floor or through the cabinet floor. So that's your first thing. Make sure that you have a cradle that's going to support this weight, and that when you put this on the cradle, that this sits 1/8 of an inch under your cabinet height. That's very important, that you want 1/8 of an inch. So with mine, the next step after I had this mounted was to start building the panels, because like I said, this was the cabinet height that it came with. So I had to make build-ups, and it came with a panel with this kitchen as part of the deal. And so you had to cut your panels. So same thing, I can, hold on. So this is the view behind it. And this is all going to get covered. There's a big panel, 1/4 inch panel that covers this whole thing, hardboard. So don't worry about it. These are pocket screws. And this, so I also made a stretcher to strengthen this upper cabinet so it wasn't going to flex. So you got to make your back panel, your side panels, and then your front. Your front's going to be interesting. So that's pretty much a roundabout view of what it looks like when it's done. Like I said, I didn't find any video concerning, like most of the cabinets that I came across, and this is the Peninsula. So on the other side of this sink, there's seating. Enough for 3 seats. With the dishwasher there, it's the same thing. With the dishwasher, I didn't find any videos on building a panel dishwasher. Now, with some of it, it's a retro thing where all you gotta do is cut out your front, shrink your doors, there you go. This door's already shrunk. So with this, you gotta be careful on not having too big a gap. So take your time when you do this front panel. And all it is just you cut it, and then you gotta start. And what I did on mine is I made a cardboard template. I made the template to go all the way around. I transferred it to the other one, and I kind of snuck up onto it. That's how I did it. And if you want to do it that way, that's great. It's perfect. That's the way I would want to do it. The stretcher on the back is for strength. So you're essentially building another cabinet that goes on top of the pre-existing cabinet, and it's screwed. So my cabinet is screwed to this cabinet, it's screwed to this one, and I made a stretcher on the back to kind of give it a little bit of oomph. You don't have to do that, but with the weight of a countertop going on, it might be a good idea. This is for new builds. So if this is a retro thing, with the retro thing, all you gotta do is new doors, cut out the opening, make a cradle, you're done. That's about it for that. There's not much else to it. It's just when I started looking into it, like this is my first install for this. I think it went well. It looks good. Once you put the doors on, now mind you, this little line kind of irks me a little bit, but I can't do anything about it. These are both finished bases mating together, and they're pocket holes. So on this side, on the other side of this, there's pocket screws going, connecting all together. Otherwise it'd just be flimsy, flying in the wind sort of deal. What else can I say about this? Take your time, make sure everything's level. Like when you're doing this out, if you're doing a Peninsula like I am. And yeah, it wasn't that hard. It's a little time consuming, making templates and making this and making that, but the result's gonna come out nice. So you like this video, give me a like, subscribe, and I'm gonna do dishwasher next. So stay tuned and have a good one.